You know, we're going to roll into game number 3 instead and see what he can bring in this one. Still has a chance to get some extra cash in his pocket, but he's got to take down ErA first. And ErA, this is a deck that we've seen him play from time to time, but this is not a really huge portion of his range.
Yeah, we've been seeing him played a little bit more here lately. You know, earlier in the season, his aggro deck to mix in was Tempo Mage. Now, this version of the deck, I have to believe this is the deck that Super JJ was doing so well with.
Yeah,
we saw it with the Argent Squire.
Yeah, ErA strikes me as the kind of person who is going to play 2 Flame Imps. But having Argent Squire in here, you know, he's likely to have cards like Dark Iron Dwarf. We've seen him play it a lot in this deck so far.
And this is a pretty good turn 1, by the way.
No, this is a terrible turn 1. He's only got Flame Imp and then another minion in the back behind it.
You know, which one do you play? I think you just play the Argent Squire.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't.
Oh, he's gonna hold off.
Yeah,
here.
I don't have a problem with holding either. You know, you're only squeezing one extra damage out of the coin. You know, how important is that when your opponent hasn't dropped a minion on turn 1? Kaldi's the guy who, like, you always expect him to be playing Handlock.
Now, do you just play Sun Fear Protector here?
I think there's an argument for it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
And holding back is actually going to help out with ErA here. This is going to make him get a lot of value out of this Voidwalker.
Yeah. I mean, this is the benefit of the fact that he's held back at this point, is that now Kaldi has kind of fallen into this small little trap here where ErA has protected his Flame Imp.
Yeah, plus the coin is pretty valuable when you have a 9 drop in your hand and then you immediately draw Dr. Boom, so it's going to be able to, you know, help that out just a little bit.
Immediately draw Dr. Boom.
Hey, man. Clairvoyant. I just know.
You just know. And so now at this point, Kaldi hasn't attacked. The Nerubian Egg, I feel like, protects you from the situation where I think Kaldi was trying to get to, which was Shadow Flame the board position.
Yeah, now he's going to set up a better Shadow Flame here over the next turn or two.
Having that Mal'Ganis drawn too, not too shabby when you have the turn 4 Void Caller.
Oh, that's an Iron Beak Owl picked up here for ErA, though.
Not too shabby when you have an Iron Beak Owl for a Void Caller.
Yeah, just one good draw deserves another one, Nathan. He's thinking about coining out this Abusive Sergeant.
Yeah, Nerubian Egg is such a peculiar card in this matchup because on the one hand, you want it to protect yourself from AoE, but on the other side of things, it gives
you a 4/4. Yeah,
it's so difficult to not use.
I mean, that's what the card's in there for. Let's get aggressive, you know?
Yeah. He's going to put 1 damage on the Void Caller. That's really interesting to me.
I'm trying to figure this one out.
I mean, I guess like Dark Bomb attacked the Flame Imp is what he's trying to avoid, maybe?
Yeah, I think that was like the only thing that came into me is like he needed to have 1 damage on there for the Flame Imp. And I mean, just keeping Kaldi at 16, playing around Molten Giant as well is like kind of important.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent point. You know, him dropping a Molten Giant could be the difference in him being able to put a lot of pressure on you. So Implosion gets picked up, and the full 4 is rolling from ErA.
Yeah, he's going to be able to take care of this entire board here.
Love that he's keeping this Nerubian Egg out as well. He understands that AoE is the way that he's going to end up losing this game very often. So playing around it as most that he can, like this is wonderful play from ErA.
And this deck can play to the board. You know, it is an aggressive deck, but it doesn't mean you have to try to run them out of the gym. I mean, you can play for the board over and over again because you're usually ahead. So their life total is the one that's dropping, not yours. And you get to utilize this hero power so well, draw all these extra cards, and then you get to set yourself up for huge Dr. Boom turns as well.
That's a pretty darn good one, but you know, he has Dr. Boom as well. So 2 major options for ErA this turn. I feel like he's going to go with Power Overwhelming this turn.
Honestly, I think this turn is pretty hard.
Well, let's say, for instance, like, so here's what came to my mind at the forefront is Power Overwhelming on the Nerubian Egg, run over this Mountain Giant, drop a second Nerubian Egg back behind that. You're looking pretty good.
I actually like just life tapping and then figuring out from there because I honestly don't even know if I would use the Nerubian Egg here. Well, if you're going to play the second one, then definitely. It will say if you don't pick up something else, then you can use the Nerubian Egg. But I was going to say, I actually like just using it on the Abusive Sergeant and putting some power in there and just making yourself as resilient as possible.
Yeah, I mean, he set himself...
like, you might see him not attack again here, by the way.
He has nullified AoE at this point.
Yeah, there's a chance, I was like, okay, he's actually going to attack here. Because yeah, he's getting to the point where the Molten Giants are going to happen no matter what.
Yeah. So this is Kaldi's opening to play with Dr. Boom. But is this going to be enough pressure? ErA's got his own Dr. Boom.
He's his own Dr. Boom, followed up by Mal'Ganis next turn. He just picks up a Defender of Argus, though.
This game just got really interesting. He's going to try to pop his Nerubian Eggs. Well, maybe not the role that he wanted.
Maybe the role he deserved.
but still a pretty good board position. His boombots go uncontested right now, and Kaldi does not have a very sufficient way to answer what's happening. Aside from this, he can't attack first in Shadow Flame, but he's taking a lot of damage when he does this.
Now, this is kind of weird for me, the way that ErA played the last turn. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you played this whole game with these Nerubian eggs to play around AoE, and then you just play into it this turn.
Yeah, I'm not sure he could have avoided it though. He wants his boombots to be uncontested. Has to take a risk at some point. He gets 9 damage off his. I'm sorry, he puts Kaldi to 9 off the boombots. I feel like this situation was totally fine for him.
Yeah, he gets the free Molten Giant here.
Now the problem with this is he's suddenly facing 12 points of damage.
Yeah, he's facing 12 points of damage now, and now he has a Doomguard in his hand for reach, but is he going to be able to get Kaldi to 5 here? And Kaldi's about to start just running away with this.
Yeah, he's got to fight through Mal'Ganis too.
Well, Kaldi has some other things he can do this turn too. He can run over this entire board state, use a Mortal Coil and an Antique Heal bot just to make sure he doesn't die to any shenanigans.
Yeah, like Ironbeak Owl, something weird.
Yeah, Doomguard, Ironbeak Owl, Power Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because that is something that could happen.
Right. That's, if you can play around stuff, you might as well.
Yes.
It's not costing him anything to play around.
Does Loatheb actually play around it better? It gives you 9, it only gives you 17, and you have no real reach to finish it off here, because that's what he's thinking about right now is the merits of playing Loatheb versus playing Antique Healbot.
Yeah, but I think actually Loatheb does get the job done. But do you need to play the Loatheb? Is your damage the same afterwards?
Well, if you Loatheb and Ancient Watcher here and you draw like a silence effect, you could have actually killed ErA.
ErA's just going to scoop this one up. Wow. Has had enough of this game, decides he doesn't have the reach left to get it done, and Kaldi taking a 2-1 lead here. Pretty big deal at this point. Now he's 1 game away from securing himself a little bit extra money.